Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Panzer Strategy, where I'm back with the battle for Britain. After a successful operation at Dunkirk, we now have a naval and land, or a naval and air only operation. And we have some very specific preparations to do here, so let's get started. First of all, I want to get airstrike to a higher level. There we are. So I want to get that at level 2. The rest of the HQ experience will be used for the upgrading of my troops here. So what am I going to do here? First of all, I want to get all of my Air Force upgraded to level 2. And I will give them the extra level up bonuses accordingly, but yeah, for now that's definitely what I want to do. I do have the points for that, so that's great. And then after having done that, now let's go for those level ups. So yeah, let's upgrade you. All right, so these guys are already all weather. I don't think that nap of the earth is really that something that I really need to have right now. Vulnerabilities is okay, not that useful during this mission. Fire discipline is okay. Let's just +1 ammunition, huh? Yeah, let's have some with fire discipline and others with vulnerabilities. So this bomber is, well, I just go for vulnerabilities here too. Fire discipline is nice, but okay. So as for the fighters, they're definitely going for all weather. And for these guys, I think that Boom and Zoom is a very good ability. What does that do? If you're using Altitude, which gives your unit more initiative, it will allow you to strike first. And that is really good, because if you get to strike first before the enemy is not going to deal a whole lot of damage to you. So I want to have that ability on all my fighters. Moreover, I want to buy a 4th fighter and upgrade it as well with elite level, bring me to 16 HQ experience. Yeah, let's buy that. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong button. What am I doing here? Yeah, so let's level that up. Let's get that boom and zoom and all weather. So that's pretty much the units that I want to have here. What I will do for all of the fighters, I will actually give them the equipment of drop tanks. That gives it less ammunition but plus 20 fuel. One of the big problems with this mission is that your fighters don't have the reach to get all the way to the north of Britain. The fighters normally have 4 ammunition, but they are not going to expand 4 ammunition anyway. So I might just as well get drop tanks for each one of them, give them plus 20 fuel, and they'll be able to go for a lot longer. That's also really great with the ability Altitude, simply because the Altitude ability does use up 5 fuel and 5 movement points, and we need that extra fuel in order to keep those guys afloat. The same pretty much applies to the Junkers 87B, which also wouldn't really be doing that well without the drop tanks. So I'm also going to be purchasing those. But for these guys, I also want to get Incendiary Bombs, because that gives higher soft attack. It means that they will be doing better against anti-aircraft guns, should that become necessary. Wow, I just messed that up there totally. Ugh. Oh well. Yeah, right, like I said, Incendiary Bombs there. Excellent. Junkers 88 don't need the extra drop tanks, because they're already doing okay at that point. I do want to give these guys Incendiary Bombs too, because again, that helps them against anti-aircraft guns, and I think that's pretty good. So we have all of these guys pretty much set. They're doing pretty well. Then let's upgrade or level up the artillery, because we can. There we got multiple support, and let's go for skilled attack then. That's good enough. Don't really need to buy any other units here. The one thing that I want to do with these two, not really anything that's actually. Oh yeah, that costs a lot here. 31, 35 to get these level up? No way. For these guys, 19. So that's not gonna happen. I did get a hero, and that hero can go on a plane. So let's just see what it can do. It has several abilities that I could assign it, such as, for example, scouting, bypassing air defense, but it seems to only give +4 ground defense or something. +1 attack, which allows a unit to attack twice every second turn. That's really good. I think I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna put it on a Junkers 88 because they're pretty good against anti-aircraft defense. Now this is not gonna make or break the enemy's units, but I think overall it's pretty nifty. So that should be pretty good. Yeah. Let's put him in the Junkers 88, and I'll assign it the +1 attack. Actually, what I need to do here is I need to go to level up now and reassign that. So I get to reassign all of its abilities. So it's all weather, +1 attack, and well, technically I cannot assign anything anymore now because it has 2 stars. So all weather and +1 attack for this is pretty good. You know, next time I'll be able to assign something else, but this is okay. That means that I now have 612 prestige points left. I'm gonna leave those because I don't really want to buy anything, and I might need to repair something. I want to invest in my air power, but not too much, because I need to invest into other things as well. And I think for now, having this as an Air Force is already decent, and at least good enough for the next mission. So with this, we should be able to wrap things up in the next mission. So, and that's okay. Let's cancel things here. And let's see what everybody has to say about the upcoming Battle of Britain.
The Luftwaffe proved to be an excellent tactical tool, yet it seems unlikely they have the capacity to strategically defeat a country like Britain. This time Führer poses a difficult task for us. However, it is all on his terms after all.
Yeah, it's on his terms, so you better not complain again. But I'm sure he will.
In future operations, there is not much work for ground forces, except perhaps for the anti-craft artillery. I would prefer to wage a different war.
Let me guess, an infantry war. I believe that the first strike on Britain should be as heavy as possible. First, we should destroy all the nearest targets in the south of England, and then take over the north. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm all set and ready to go. So let's take a look here. I don't really have anything else to show here, except that great cutscene, probably.
In order to create the conditions for the final defeat of England, I intend to continue the air and naval war against England even more vigorously than before. German aviation, with all the forces at its disposal, should destroy the Royal Air Force as soon as possible. The strikes must be directed primarily at the war industry, also at the Royal Air Force units, their aircraft, and supply depots.
I must state very clearly that the idea of a great country like Britain being quickly brought to its knees by operational air warfare is an impossible dream.
We cannot afford a long war against Britain. This might lead to the aggravation of the political situation. And yet again, you start your impossible stance.
I only express my point of view.
More faith, General. Let all the doubts aside. Faith and will. That's what will change this world. Start the operation and let England fall.
Faith and will, that's all we need. Impossible dreams can be put aside, and Halder as well.
General Staff to the commander of the operation. The fate of the planned landing in Britain depends on this operation. The Royal Air Force must be brought to a state where they are unable to intervene in the crossing of our troops across the English Channel. According to our strategic air offensive plan, it is necessary to destroy the British aviation industry by attacking them from the air. The objectives are the aviation plants in London, Cardiff, Portsmouth, Coventry, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Carlisle, Glasgow. All the Luftwaffe forces that are engaged in the operation are now under your control. Bear in mind that British aviation can oppose you very strongly. A long line of radar stations is covering the coast of England. These radar installations may detect our air units approaching at normal altitudes. Flying at a low altitude will increase your stealth ability and keep you off the radar. Also, you should consider from which directions and which radar units will be the most effective to bomb. The British industry is constantly releasing new aircraft, thereby compensating for the losses of the Royal Air Force. It is necessary to destroy as many factories as possible at the very beginning of the operation. Due to the fact that the US sends sea convoys with resources to the British Isles, the strategic situation is getting complicated. If they get access to these supplies, the British industry will be able to produce additional aircraft. It is necessary to hunt those convoys down in the Atlantic in order to interrupt these chains of supplies while they're still at sea. This will make it easier for us to conduct our air war. Now the submarine forces allocated from the Kriegsmarine to fight enemy convoys are under your command. Start the operation. Generalstabschef der Heeres, Generaloberst Franz Halder.
Right, so let's get started with the mission. I'll be going over my strategy here first and what we can expect during this mission. So first of all, I'll be going over the Naval Forces. So we have a couple of submarines down here and one up here as well. But for the most part, I will try not to really use the submarines. And the reason for that is that I'm too afraid of the enemy ships actually destroying those destroying those submarines. And because of that, I kind of just want to keep them here. The convoys will come from this region, then up north, and then from the south again. So alternatively between the north and the south. So I do want to be ready for that with my bombers, but much less with the submarines, because yeah, if they get destroyed, they will cost a lot to replace, and I do want to actually get some prestige during this mission still. Besides that, we have a total of 8 turns in order to destroy all the factories, and I want to be doing that in 2 bombing runs. The Junkers 88s will be doing most of the strategic bombing, and I think that it's for the best to try and take down the lower factories first, so the ones down in the south. And on my second run, try to go for the factories in the north. So the ones down in the south are pretty close together, and I think we should be able to take at least Coventry down, and then if we're lucky, maybe get Manchester and or Liverpool still in the first bombing run, and then get the last 3 in the second run. After destroying most of the anti-aircraft guns in the south, we should have a much clearer path towards the north. Because the land stretches from east to almost the southwest, I do want to approach Britain from all possible sides down here, in conjunction with the auxiliary forces. So we already have a fighter, 3 Junkers 88s down here, and more over here. There are a couple of Messerschmitt 1010Cs out here. It's also pretty nice. But up here we have much less. So I want to start deploying some forces here. First of all, I'll be getting 2 fighters. And I will also be deploying 2 of my 88s up here. A third 88 up here, because there's also no bombers here. And I'll deploy at least the 2 fighter bombers down here close to the English coast. And then there are still 2 more fighters that I get to deploy. And definitely 1 down there. And the other one will be deployed up here, quite close to this region as well. Besides that, I want to deploy the anti-aircraft guns at the very least, and I'll be deploying them up here because I already know that the enemy will deploy some bombers in this mission, and during my test run they actually went into this area. Now I can't know for sure, of course, but it would be a great boon to my forces if I can actually use the anti-aircraft guns on the enemy bombers instead of using my fighters. Either way, I think that the most important for this mission is just to use your resources to maximum efficiency and trying to take as little damage as possible, dealing as much damage as possible to the enemy, and just really well, use your brain during this mission. I think you really have to think out every single movement during this mission on this map in order to succeed, even more so than in other missions. So I'll be contemplating every single move that I have in here in order to get the maximum efficiency out of my troops, the planes in this case, and to succeed in this mission. So let's get started. So from here, first of all, the first thing that I want to do is go after the radar stations, because those radar stations are pretty inconvenient. They will reveal all my units. And of course, for that first run, I want to be using the bomber, which is furthest away from that site, which is this one. So let's move it here, but not bomb yet, because if there's an enemy fighter, I need to take that out first. And there is, so that's exactly why I didn't attack yet. Now that we've revealed this, I want to get my own fighter here. And this is an auxiliary fighter, has 3 stars of experience. I want to use the altitude ability combined with the zoom and boom ability that these guys, boom and zoom, not the other way around, boom and zoom ability that will allow this unit to strike first at the enemy. And that is definitely what I want here. So I'll move those guys up here. Use altitude, and now this looks like a good attack. Nice. Okay. Can I use the Messerschmitt 110C to finish it off? Because it's a fighter bomber, it's a lot less potent than anything else. Let's move it up here. Now during this mission you can expect all of the victory objectives to have anti-aircraft guns on them at the very least, with a range of 3. So that's something that you want to watch out for, not to get into their path accidentally. Now I could use zoom and boom here again in order to make sure that I don't get damage, since there's a chance that I will still take 1 from this attack. And I think that's actually worth the extra fuel. Again, because I think the 8 turns should be enough time in order to score a victory here. I also want to have the Messerschmitt 110C be under the cover of a auxiliary fighter, because it has the multiple support ability and for ammunition. These guys also have higher initiative and higher attack values than my other fighters. So that's something that I really want to do here. Now these guys should be next, but first I'm going to destroy that radar station. Despite being at 10 strength, all the radar stations seem to need only one hit in order to be destroyed. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so we can be sure there's an anti-aircraft gun here. Now what I want to do is I want to lure the attack of the anti-aircraft by using a recon so that I can use strategic bombing afterwards. Now I could technically just use the recon down here or whatever, just click it quickly. But if I place this recon ability efficiently, I can draw out the anti-aircraft attack both from the anti-aircraft in London and from the one in Portsmouth by making sure that it gets into range of both of them, which is exactly what would happen like this. So that's why I want to place the anti-aircraft ability this way. Now if I'm lucky and it doesn't get shot down, immediately it will return and will try to continue its run like it does here. And it did indeed trigger the second one as well. So now I won't get into trouble from this anti-aircraft gun either, in case I want to bomb that. So that worked out very well. Now the one thing that I do need is an auxiliary fighter to attack first. And do that from the big depot at Portsmouth. Because if I bomb here, I would have to move. Yeah, because moving in here allows me to have 3 bombers on these locations. And that's what I want. And they should... oh, now they're not able to use altitude anymore? Ah, I see. Okay. See, I already messed up there. Because only by moving in here can they still use altitude. Well, now you have to attack and they indeed will take some damage like that, which is just no good. I could use these guys and also use zoom and boom. But it does mean that I wasted this guy's ability. Or just the movement in general. But I still think... no, I think that right now I still want to make this attack. Because I want to move this fighter up in here. Again, use the altitude ability and attack these guys. So that I can bomb this radar station too. And I'll actually be using this auxiliary bomber for that. And there we go. There's also a radar here. And I also need to destroy that radar. So I'll be moving there, but not attacking. Okay, there's nothing there. Finish that off. And move into place to protect that bomber. There we go. Excellent. And now we still have a couple of guys left. First of all, these need to be destroyed. And I cannot use zoom and boom for my next fighter. So I'll just have to go there, potentially take 1 damage. Probably. That's okay. I already did expect to take a bit of damage, although getting the damage on these was unfortunate. Now, for the anti-aircraft gun, if I use these with incendiaries, that looks to be a pretty good attack. Using these just in general potentially has a 0-4. Okay. Well, let's do that then. Now it's 1 and 3. That's lovely. Alright. Move up here. Now I use the bomber with incendiaries. And generally I want to use the auxiliary fighters in order to cover for my bombers, because I really need those with multiple support here.
The factory in Portsmouth has been turned into ruins. This is a great news.
Okay, that's the first objective. Still have 2 airplanes there. Let's try to deal with that radar first. Again, just move into the hex. Seems like I can't destroy it already. And the real unfortunate thing here is that I no longer have a fighter with the zoom and boom ability. And that's exactly why I wanted to have that around already. I also don't have a unit to deal with that fighter right now. So pretty much I'll just have to get close at this stage. Prepare myself for a bombing run. I can attack. I guess it doesn't really help that much though. Either way, if I move out here, I can still use the altitude ability to get the initiative on one of the enemies, and I'll do the same here, but still cover for the bombers. And meanwhile, oh yeah, you're not going here because they'll be under attack, so let's get you out here. And I think at this point we only have the submarines left. Yeah, we do. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these guys right on the edge for now to try and keep them safe, and these will definitely go down though. Alright. The anti-aircraft guns will actually be moving down here together with this. Well, that was lame.
According to our intelligence, the naval convoy HX-52 with raw materials for the British industries approaches from the southwest of the British Isles. Intercept the convoy and sink all the attached transport ships.
Alright, let's move those guys up there and have these down here so that we can attack this next turn. I don't really need to engage it. That'll be fairly useless. Yeah, for this turn though, I think we're already looking pretty decent, at least against those fighters there. And down here things also went fairly well. This here was unfortunate, but we can deal with that, I think. I'm not sure what I need to repair just yet, but I'll try to deal with it. For now though, I still want to use this ability, even against the units here. I definitely need to keep up taking as little damage as possible. There we go, that takes down those guys. And because we'll be operating in this area, again, the first thing that I want to do is actually summon the Aviation Recon. This time over entire London. Okay. And there's a second anti-aircraft. Fair enough. At least we've drawn out both of these. Now, if I will do an airstrike on them through this way, I think they should be quite out of ammunition, or at least one of them.
Attacks on facilities that are covered by the enemy air defense units can cost you the loss of the aircraft units.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm aiming for here. They're out of ammo. These have one ammo left probably. Oh, they actually did provide support there too. They've arranged it too, so I'm not too worried there. Okay, so now that we know that, I think now it's time for action. First things first, if I use these guys and yeah, oh yeah, they're right next to each other, so the big problem there is that they would be very hard to engage that way. Okay, so moving up here would allow me oh yeah, I actually need to do the same here at Leeds. Or Cardiff, not Leeds. Where is Leeds then? Plymouth? Leeds is up north. Manchester, Liverpool. Yeah, here, Leeds. Okay. Got my geography a bit mixed up here. And let's do it like that. Okay, got spotted. Only one anti-aircrafts. That way. Even with using altitude, I can get in here and attack. Ugh. Okay. I'll make sure to land these guys already. For this turn. I'll get them out afterwards, but I think it's good to land here right now. I do want to stay out of vision of these. So I'll have to be careful. But I can destroy this hurricane already. If I get this thing, I should... Ah, come on. Really? That's unfortunate. Okay. Down here, I want to use the 88s with incendiaries. Man, I'm getting very piss poor luck here. Yeah. As long as they're 2 hexes away, I'll be fine. Do want to destroy that anti-aircraft gun, so I'll use incendiaries here too. While staying at least 3 hexes away from that location. I'm gonna put a fighter in the middle. In order to secure all my units. They do have only 1 ammunition left, but I think I might be okay. My biggest problem is that I would have a very poor time attacking either of those, so I don't think it's that great of an idea to actually do so. And I would be much better off just covering my units.
The bombing of the British capital had an expected effect. The factory in London is destroyed.
Yeah, that it is. Let's focus on Cardiff. Or actually Coventry. For these, it's probably easiest again to target that. Okay, this time I know there's something there, and I will not trigger it this turn anyway, so I might just as well not do that. They abort their mission, but that's fine. Get these guys, use incendiaries. And I took 1 damage, and probably damaged them quite a bit. That's a beautiful game. Okay, I will have to move through down here. Alright, let's destroy the radar station too. So there are multiple ways I can approach this. I need a fighter in there in some way. I guess moving here is the best approach, because that way...
There was no stone left unturned from the factory in Cardiff. Another direct hit from the bitters industry.
I can actually take down those guys. Move this in here. So that's been taken care of. And then... yeah, they could... no, they can't do anything again. I have these. I'm again gonna use incendiaries and attack this thing. No, at this point I don't think I have any more bombers. Let's take a look. No, I don't. Okay, so the only thing that I need to take care of is the fighters here. Definitely placing you up here in order to get multiple fighter support. And yeah, you still have altitude, but these abilities just aren't, these attacks just ain't good. Could destroy this already, but again, I don't think it's that useful. And that's why for both, just moving out here. That's not too much damage. Where are they going? Okay, that didn't turn out to be too bad. So first of all, let's attack this thing again. Might even be able to destroy it from here. I didn't. But the moment they move, they will be destroyed. I'm very confident that they are almost out of anything. Either way, I'm gonna end the video here because my time is already up, and I'll be wrapping things up in the next episode. So for now, thanks for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you all in the next episode. So take care and see you all there. After leveling up this guy, there we go. See you all next time.